Yeah. So my topic for today is support position a little bit, and lane control, and objectives in game like Dragon, Baron, and when to push lanes and when to back off and stuff like that. So I think we start with the support. And last time I didn't explain a lot about the masteries and runes, but this time I will, cause for the supports there are usually not many differences between the supports. So for support I run gold per 10 quints and gold per 10 seals, armor reds, and ability power glyphs. And on the other side I just exchanged 2 gold per 10 runes for movement speed. That's what I run on Blitzcrank and Taric, just for the extra movement speed to engage a bit better, and Leone for example. But on Sona, Soraka, I run this page. So you get the armor for being not that squishy in lane. You can go less gold per 10 seals and more armor if you want that. Some people leave away the ability power, that's personal style, but yeah, I like to run lots of gold per 10 because you get shitloads of money without doing anything. And if sometimes if you lose, you only have to buy 1 gold per 10 and you're fine. You even get 1 gold per 10 item and you still get a lot of money. Yeah, mastery is pretty short as well. Just whole right 3 almost, plus 2 armor, and for the exhaust, the magic resist and armor debuff. And yeah, not much to say there. So together with the support position, I want to show you a bit of warding as well. Again, I know I did that last time a lot, but I will do it this time as well. Wait, let me find a good game from yesterday. I think that one should work. Yeah, so usually on bot lane you want to have a bot lane that synergizes pretty well. So with the support pick, you check what your AD picks and then you try to pick a good support for that AD, not the other way around most of the time. So there are some comps that are just fine with farming, and other comps that want to burst people down early game. Here we had a late game comp around Kog'Maw, so they just tried to farm, and Kog'Maw really fits good with Nunu, same as Vayne, because for their abilities, for the true damage for both of them, they need attack speed, and Nunu just gives them attack speed with his Blood Boil, so no need to buy a lot of attack speed items there. Yeah, let's wait for the game to load here. Like the how's it called? What the support has to do in lane is obvious, I hope. So warding the lane, keeping the lane safe, and yeah, just make sure your AD can farm, and if you get ganked, warn the AD, because most of the time he's really concentrated on last hitting and that he doesn't get harassed. So just keep an eye on the minimap all of the time. Make sure you have enough wards and stuff like that. That is loading so slow. Yeah, other things the support has to do is, if you're winning the lane pretty hard, he can try to zone the enemy, but you have to be very careful with that. Like, zoning the enemy means you stand between the enemies and the creeps. So if they're scared of your harass or your stun or whatever, then you can just push them away from the creeps, and they don't get gold or XP. And yeah, that should do the support and not the AD most of the time. The problem with zoning is that the enemies will get a gank, so only zone if you have enough vision with wards and stuff. And yeah. In team fights, the support should stay back most of the time. I mean, it depends on the support, like Blitzcrank or Leona try to engage, obviously, or Taric sometimes, but if you're Sona or Nunu is different. Nunu can engage with his ultimate and with his snowball. Sometimes it's better to stay back at first, but for example with Soraka or Sona you tend to stay really far behind and stay with your AD to save him. Another thing for the supports without heal, Taric has a heal, but he has a stun as well. Let's say for the supports with CC, Blitzcrank, Leona, and Taric, don't just random grab. Most of the time I see people play Blitzcrank and they just random grab every time it comes off cooldown. And the only support a Blitzcrank gives you is that the enemies fear his grab. And if you waste your grab, they know you have 15 seconds or something like that cooldown. And then your whole support is gone. Like, then they can just push and harass you because they know you can't grab them. And that's why you keep your grab and just wait. And only if you know, like, at least 90% that you grab someone, then you try to grab. And not random grab, because that takes all the pressure off the enemy and they can just pressure you instead afterwards. Oh, I don't have the spectator mode for this. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, my League of Legends replay bugs a bit, I'm not sure why. And yeah, it bugs really hard, I see. And maybe I can still pause it. It's not working to pause. Don't know why. Yeah, so as support you want to ward either Tribush or somewhere around here most of the time, but you should always also be aware of lane ganks, so sometimes it's better to ward in this bush in the lane. I explained that last coaching pretty much. So yeah. So where was I? Yeah. With freezing the lane and stuff like that, and I would skip forward a bit. Oh, that's really stupid that I have the
30 seconds until minions spawn.
The old LOL replay.
Minions have spawned.
I think I can't skip, like I can't skip backwards, I can skip forward. But yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, we don't have vision. Okay, that's really stupid. I'm not sure if there's a new version of LOL replay. Yeah, with freezing the lane and pushing the lane. On freezing the lane means that you stop the creeps from meeting in mid and try to get the enemy minions pushed towards your tower, but not into your tower. So that they stay a bit in front of your tower, out of turret range, so they don't get hit by the tower. But because when they get into the tower, the whole wave it resets them because the tower kills all of them, and then they meet again in mid. So that's the next thing. Like, if you want to reset the lane, just try to push it into the enemy tower if it's your lane pushing, or if you want your lane to reset, let it push into your tower. Freezing the lane is good if you just want to farm and don't want to be aggressive. Or if you want to zone the enemies, it's pretty nice as well, because on bot lane the AD can freeze the lane and the support can just zone them very easy because you're near to your tower and there's no ganking potential for the enemy, or not a big, at least. Okay, I have the newest version here, so I'm not sure why it's not working. Yeah, next thing is, when do you go back? It's the same on top and bot lane. Oh yeah, the freeze on the lane is only working for top and bot. In mid it's not really working because the minions are there faster because of the shorter way, and you can freeze it a little bit, but it resets way faster than on top and bot lane. Yeah, when to go back? Early game, if you push your lane or the enemy freezes your lane at his tower, you try to go back. If you have enough money to get something, try go back, because if the lane is at his tower, you can't do much, and you always have to be careful about ganks if you're that far pushed and still try to CS there. So especially for top lane, when you don't have a ward early, you try to go back as soon as possible to get a ward and get your first items, because then you even have an advantage in lane and you don't lose too many creeps there. And yeah, what else do we have? Yeah, if you're pushing the lane, for example, if you see your top laner enemy at dragon or ganking bot or something, which can happen from time to time, then you should try to push your lane if you're not going to help your team in any other way. So just try to make sure that you get the tower if they do dragon, for example. If you push the lane, still try to get the CS. Like, not only do auto attacks all the time, but do some auto attacks, and if it gets low, make sure that you last it. So yeah, it's really important, or else you will lose a lot of CS, and that makes it really hard to keep up in CS than if the other top laner, or if your enemy in lane CS is good and you always push and you're not able to get the CS when pushing. Yeah, map awareness is also one thing of the support, because he doesn't do too much in the laning phase. You should always have an eye on the minimap and warn your teammates. I said that last time as well. Always ping if you see something, because there's always the possibility that your partner or your teammate doesn't see the gank coming, and then if you ping, he just sees it. Even if he saw it already and you ping, and it's annoying a bit for him, but better safe than sorry. So yeah. Ping, keep an eye on the minimap. If you see your jungler is in trouble because he gets counter jungle, try to help him, but not ignore your lane and just run towards him and help him. Because I see that a lot as well. Like the support tries to help the jungler because he gets counter jungled or ganked or whatever, and then he just ignores his lane and ignores his AD, and his AD just gets engaged and he just runs away. And yeah, that's not the point of helping your jungler. Like, first you should make sure you're fine on your lane, and then you go back and save the jungler. Okay, my LoL replay is not working, unfortunately, as I wish to, so I will have to do it without it. So I will go into another game and spectate that, I think. That should be the best option here. Yeah, the minimap is a really nice tool for you, like for everyone. If you have wards, you always should be aware of it and keep an eye on the minimap, really. I know too many people who don't do it, and it's really like not too hard to keep an eye on the minimap once you get used to it. And just if you see a blink of an enemy, you know he's there, and then you don't even have to know who it is. Just knowing that he's there helps a lot. Yeah, don't go too far on your lane with no vision. So if you don't have wards, you shouldn't push too hard. Other thing later in game, if you don't see the enemies and you don't have enough wards, or you just don't have vision of them, don't face check anywhere. Like, don't run into dragon because it's up, or into a buff in enemy jungle if you don't know where the enemies are, because then you will just get or just run into a trap there. If they 5-man trap you in the bush and wait for you there and you face check, for example, if you're red team now and it would be later in game and you don't have vision here anywhere, and you go to your buff or to the enemy buff and face check that, and they wait here somewhere, they can just burst you down. I will go back a bit and oh, okay, I can't go back. I just wanted to show you how to freeze the lane, but that's not gonna work now. We're already too far in game. Yeah, at some stages of the game, if the whole team is missing, you should consider that they're at Dragon or Baron. So at the moment we're 14 minutes in game. Like, if you don't see the... Now we have vision of the red team, so if they don't see blue team anymore, they should consider that they're doing Dragon. Later in game, from minute 30 on, you should be aware of Dragon, from Baron, sorry, and just ward it. As support, you need to ward Dragon early in game, or at least around Baron, Dragon, so you know when they are doing it, and you can do something. And about at minute 30, sometimes a bit earlier, sometimes a bit later, you should have a Baron ward up all of the time. Another thing, like last time with the jungler should keep track of his buff timers, and the support mainly keeps track of Dragon and Baron timers. So Dragon is 6 minutes respawn, Baron is 7 minutes respawn. After Baron buff is off, so if enemy gets Baron buff and you see it just expired, then you still have 3 minutes. So the buff is 4 minutes, and then you can calculate it when it is. So that's really good to know as well. What else do we have here? Yeah, when to do Dragon and Baron. On bot lane it's really easy. If you get a double kill, for example, on bot lane, or you get ganked and kill the jungler and you're good in HP and the enemies aren't, you can go do a fast dragon if someone can tank it. Depends on how early in game you are and what jungler do you have and how much damage do you have. But yeah, usually you try to get a kill in mid or bot or on the jungler and then go to do dragon. If you do dragon, make sure you ward Tribush and somewhere around here or maybe here. On the other side, if you're blue team, make sure you ward here and here. Those are good spots. So like 90% of the time the enemies will come from those two spots here, because they don't have many other options but going from bot, but it's not too often. And from mid, like if you ward here, you see someone coming from here, so you cover pretty much everything if you ward those two spots, and here you cover most of the spots on the other side. So yeah, you do dragon when you kill someone, or if the lanes are pushed, you can do it as well. If your mid laner pushes to the tower all the time and bot lane as well, you can just try to sneak a dragon. But be careful, if the enemy warded, they could collapse on you. Like dragon, the earlier you do it, the more damage he does, because you don't have too much items and you get really low sometimes, and that's very dangerous if they have vision on you. Baron is usually, already said that, about 30 minutes in game. Sometimes you can sneak it earlier, like Moscow 5 loves to do that. They clear Baron at 15 to 20 minutes and just try to sneak it with 2 or 3 people, but that only works with certain champions. Like they do it, I think, with Xin Zhao and Lee Sin, they did it once. And with the Cartus it works pretty well because of his Q damage. But yeah, that's for advanced gameplay, I would say, because it's really hard to do that with only 2 or 3 members early in game. Yeah, the warding places, if you do Baron from blue side, you try to make sure that you ward here in this bush, about, yeah, this position, because then you get the vision if someone wants to ward here or flash in and smite steal or use abilities in, you have vision here. Then either in this bush or in this bush, or at the waypoint here, but if you have that ward, I wouldn't recommend to ward here. Better is warding in this bush or in this bush, because you see them coming. If they try to go around here and get into the Baron pit, if you have a ward in this bush, you see them coming. Sometimes you need to ward Tribush, but most of the times the enemies come from mid lane and not from top lane. If you are red team and do Baron, ward somewhere around blue buff area here, so either directly at the entrance or more in the open position. Here is not too good, because you see them coming. If you try to sneak it, it's nice to have it here because you see them coming earlier, but once they are out of vision, you don't know where they are and if they try to get on you. On this side, you most likely want to ward in this bush, somewhere around that you see the way here, and if you have a good ward at the outer edge, you can see up to this point, I think, and around here, so that's pretty nice as well. Another trick I can't show you, but I can tell you, if you're blue side and the enemy has an oracle on red, you can ward right here where my mouse is, and you will get full vision of the entrance to Baron. You don't get vision on Baron itself, but you see if they go into the Baron pit, and if they have an oracle, most of the time the people ward right at the entrance. But if they have an oracle and they just run into here, they see the ward. I will just clear it. And if you ward here, the oracle vision is not enough. If he just runs through the bush and right into the Baron pit, the oracle vision is not enough to get the ward here. So you still know when they are doing it, and it's a bit better spot than warding here sometimes. Sometimes it's better to ward here if they don't have an oracle. Just ward the Baron pit, so you can keep track of the HP of Baron and can try to make a play or steal, or yeah. Here you just see if they're doing it and not how low they are or how low Baron is and stuff like that. Yeah, I had buff timers. In solo queue, read the chat, cause some people don't ping if someone is miss. I just wrote that down. Yeah, just some people only write SS or Mia or something like that and don't ping, so be aware of the chat. Be aware of minimap, we had that already. Yeah, doing Dragon, Baron. Also, if you ace someone, first objective is... No, let me say that different. The best thing to get in the game is objectives. So objectives are towers. Yeah, Odd One said that yesterday, very good. There are 3 kinds of objectives. Tier 1 is towers. You always want to get towers, because if you get towers you win. Tier 2 objectives are Dragon and Baron, because you want to get the gold from Dragon and Baron and the buff from Baron. And Tier 3 objectives are buffs and enemy buffs, like neutral monster buffs. So always go in this order. Like if you ace them, try to get towers first of all. Check how long they are dead and get towers. Push lanes, because if you don't push, you never win a game. Second, if you see you're not able to push a tower because your minion waves are far behind or something, you can go do Dragon or Baron if it's up. Another thing you can try is first push the lane, and if they're up, if you're fast enough, go and get Dragon and Baron, but that's also dangerous, because if you're not full HP and you start doing Dragon and Baron and they are fast enough and get you or catch you there, or even catch you when going back afterwards, you could give them an ace and then they can just push through, and like the later you're in game, the longer you're dead, and so you have to be very careful on the respawn timers later in game. Yeah, first objective always towers, second objectives Dragon Baron, and third objective steal enemy buffs and get your own buffs and secure them. So and try to, if you're solo queuing, try to tell your team what to do. If you ace them, ping the tower with the lane that's pushed the most. Like here you would go like Aurelia is doing, pushing top, or like imagine they're all dead here, red team, then you would try to push mid lane, because everyone is mid already and the minions are coming here, back here somewhere, and yeah, maybe even you could push bot because you're already here. So for blue team it's very nice at the moment, like it's now, they could just push it out, and red team would most likely push mid because they have pretty nice wave here. And yeah, also when going back, try to leave some wards. If you pushed inhibitor for example, try to leave a ward in the middle of the lane here, so you know when they leave base. And in mid lane most of the time it's very nice to have wards. If this tower, not when the towers are up, but if the tower is down, leave a ward in the middle of the lane here, so you see when they will go into the jungle. Same here, because if you're back you will have dead vision and you will see nothing here. So just ward, and then you get at least a bit of a clue what they are doing. Yeah, what else to say? Don't try to get, if you're, most of the time if you are at inhibitor or inhibitor tower and they already respawned and you're pretty low, you always try to get the tower, and that's most of the time it's not worth it to get the tower for dying. At least if you're alone you can do that, but if your whole team is there you should back off early enough and just let the tower there with 100 HP, because it doesn't make a big difference if the tower is down or it's 100 HP, because it's like 2 or 3 hits, but it makes a difference if you get the tower and then if you die and then they can push back your inhibitor. That's pretty bad for you, so try to back off early enough and tell your team to back off, ping them. Like, you have to see your team in solo queue like stupid retards, really. Sometimes they have really nice plays and they know what to do, but sometimes or most of the times they're just really, really stupid and always do the wrong thing. So try to tell them what you do and what they should do, but not be aggressive or something. Just tell them normal and don't ping 100 times like I do. That I tend to do that, but it's not too good, because if you ping too often they will say like, or imagine if someone pings you like crazy, like you say, well, fuck you, I won't listen to you because I don't care, I know what I'm doing. And yeah, some people are not teachable, so even if you try to tell them the right thing, they will feel offended or something and just ignore you even more than before. But yeah, that's solo queue. So try to tell them what to do, and if they listen, it's nice. If not, don't force them to listen, because you can't. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So if anyone has questions, you can tell me now, either in my chat on the stream or somewhere else. Mainly if you have, yeah, I said everything about lane control and stuff. Maybe I can show you how to freeze the lane somewhere in another game. Let me check. 7 minutes. I will take a game from here. 3 minutes. Watch now. Curse extinct on Wayne and Winfact Courtyard. So two very well-known players. So we have Urgot here. Haven't seen Urgot in a while. Eve on top lane. Okay. Here we saw how the lane reset. Like Eve pushed the lane into Malphite's tower here. Yeah, Eve pushed hard. She has a very big wave with 2 waves of caster minions and 1 wave of siege minions, and now the tower just kills the whole minion wave here, and it resets. Like now they meet in the middle again, like at the beginning, and that's how you reset the minion wave. Just if you're pushing, try to get the wave into the enemy tower. Now Eve, I think, tries to freeze the lane. That's very nice for us, because we want to see that. No, Eve is pushing with a Q all the time, so she doesn't want to freeze the lane. Malphite tries to go back, because Eve was already back. Yeah, that was another point, sorry. She pushed the lane into the tower and went back immediately. So she was there when the lanes met again, and she has an item advantage now over Malphite, because she has her Dorans, and Malphite only has his boots. So she has a nice advantage. She has more AP now, she has nice mana regen. Malphite is low on mana, and he tries to back now. And Eve even cancel it. So he really has to back because he has no mana. And Eve is now pushing into the tower, and Malphite will lose this whole wave of creeps to the tower. So that's 6 CS he doesn't get. If you multiply that by 20, you already have like 120 gold that's not on Malphite, and that's really nice to have. And Eve really pushes very hard here, so the next wave goes into the tower as well. So Malphite even loses more CS here. Eve got both waves of the minions, and Malphite lost 1.5 waves of minions. So she just got nice gold advantage, I think. Eve is at 1600 and Malphite at 1400. That's 200 gold more just because she pushed here, I think. Both are 000, and Eve is 10 CS up already. So that's what you want to do. If you see the enemy port back, push the lane. Only if you know you can push it into the tower, push the lane. Because if you push the lane and you're not able to push it into the tower, and the lane stops here, he can just freeze it, and then it's really hard for you to do anything, because you can get ganked really easy, or just don't get the CS because he zones you. So you try, if you don't manage to, if you know you don't manage to push the wave into enemy tower when he backs, then just leave it and last hit. So the minions will kill most of your minions, so he doesn't get the CS. And Eve doesn't want to freeze the lane here. She kills and tanks everything. So yeah, that's basically what you want to do. Like now Eve is zoning Malphite. She stands between the creeps and him, and she can just harass him even though she's really low, and that's the problem with zoning. You can get engaged really easy, and Malphite played that really clever. Eve thought she's zoning him, and Malphite just engaged with his ultimate on her. So that's the danger of zoning people. Like, you can get pretty low, and the minions tend to hit you because you're the next target, not the other minions if you run around in the minions, and then you get pretty low. Yeah, another thing in lane, if you try to harass your opponent, I'm not sure if I said that last time, if you harass your opponent with spells, you won't get minion aggro. But if you harass your opponent with auto hits, the enemy minions will aggro you and attack you. So if you're Eve, for example, you can just Q all the time and don't get aggro from the creeps. But if you auto hit Malphite, you will get aggro from the creeps. And now Eve is freezing her lane. She never wants to freeze the lane. Seems like she's always queuing. If she would freeze the lane, she would only do auto hits on the low minions and not queue it all the time. Because with the Q and the AoE, she pushes her lane again. But yeah, at least a bit she freezes because she's not queuing all the time. And yeah, now she's really behind. Yeah. I'm finished for my part, so if you don't have any questions, I will finish with here. And yeah, I would love to get suggestions for the next topic. I didn't say too much about support, but I don't think there's too much to say about that. Um, yeah, so if you have suggestions for next topic to coach, just tell me. And yeah, see you next time, guys.